Okay, hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are. This is Ridami Black, and today I'm going to share part of Me Black's trade strategy. Me Black's trade strategy is very complex in nature. That's the reason why I don't like teaching it. But today I thought of explaining just part of it, and why I always use it whenever I enter a trade. The section falls under stop loss. As you all know me, when you see me black, just know that is an upcoming trader who trades against spikes. So from the time I developed and discovered Me Black's trade strategy, I faced a lot of challenges, which I always thought of finding the possible solutions. So the only challenge I found with boom and crash, more especially if you trade against spikes, is that there's no stop loss which you can use which can overcome a spike. Otherwise, if you use a stop loss, a normal stop loss, what would determine your stop loss will be the momentum of the spike, how powerful that spike was or how weak that spike was. Having that problem, I thought of finding a possible solution to such situations. That's how I came up with Mpsl. Mpsl stands for Me Black's Permanent Stop Loss. This stop loss is the only powerful stop loss you will ever use on boom and clash. It's the only stop loss that can overcome and defeat any spike, regardless how big or small the spike is, because it creates an emptiness whereby a spike will fall on an empty stomach. So whenever I trade, normal for education purposes, I usually put normal stop loss whereby I use the price line, but mostly I use Mpsl, my permanent stop loss, so that it doesn't matter how big or small that spike will come or will be, my stop loss will absorb that spike, and I won't even lose more dollars depending on the stop loss which I have set. So mostly those who know me, they know that I like trading small accounts. At first I had started with a $4 equity. Later on I upgraded to a $10 equity, and as at now I'm at $20 equity. So whenever I enter a trade, I only trade with $20, and I try by all means to be my daily deposit limit, unless otherwise. So I'm going to walk you through the section of Mpsl. It falls under MTS as Me Black's trade strategy, with the help of BBE, balance building entries. So I'll try to pick okay, I'm going to use these entries which I already have. Okay, let's hope that spike won't take me out. But nevertheless, that this is the normal stop loss. This is a normal stop loss, but I have already activated the Mpsl. So I entered the trade from this range, this price line. That's where I entered the trade up to here. So this is my main trade. This is my main trade. So whenever I'm trading an asset, I'm going to I'll always open another asset, just a different asset, with opposite entries, just for building the trade. So for example, I'm trading boom 500, and this crash 500 is only used for BBE. So BBE is balance. There on top there is balance. So crash 500, whenever I make any position, for example here, do we have okay, that's the free margin is 2, so I won't close because there are some rules which I'm supposed to follow whenever I want to close any position, more especially if it's a spike position or a non-spike. So this strategy is very risky. That's the reason why I don't usually I don't like teaching it, but because of popular demand, I thought of doing this video. So there are rules which you are supposed to follow if you want to close a spike position or a normal position. So if you want to close a spike position, so it has spiked, let me see, 1 2, okay, so the normal, yeah, so my normal SL has been hit, so I'm remaining with $9 as equity. So I'll just leave it that way. It will be trading that, so that I can just explain. So if I have $20, if I have a $20 account there, equity as 20, I'll enter any asset of my choice, the main asset. For example, in this case we have the B5. This was my main asset. Then C500 was only used for balance building. So if I say balance building, for example, if I open an opposite direction entry, supposed to see, so there is one asset which is still in play, either on the same clash. Let me see. So there's one as I think there's one asset. So 48, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, it's this asset. So let me see, 1 48, 1 2 3 4, then 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so let me close this and I'll open it as 40. You see if it will close 40 buy. Then let me see if I neutralize this as buy. Yeah, you've seen. So it means that the crash 500 now has balance. Otherwise it was the sell side was more by the buy side. In fact, the buy side was more by 0.08. So I've just removed the 0.08. Good, the 0.08, and it has now balanced. So each position on crash 500 is is relatively equal to the opposite direction. So if you check the positions which has a one lot size, even on buy there's one lot size 48, this 48. So in simpler terms it means that I have to if I enter an asset which I want to use as a balance building entry, that's BBE, I use the same lot size but in different directions. So if it's a buy of one lot size, I'll use 0.1 buy, the 0.2 sell. There are also some rules when you want to enter a spike position and a normal position. So let me just go through the rules. If you want to enter a spike, always when you want to enter a BBE, you have to start with a spike position. So in this case, I'm using Clash 5 and I'm using Clash 500 as the BBE asset. So I can't enter a buy, because once I enter a buy, by the time I want to enter a sell, it may spike and I'll be in negative or the account may blow. So you have to enter with the spike position so that if it spikes, it's a bonus. So for Clash 500, always you have to enter with a sell position. Now you enter, for example, I can enter with a 0.1 sell, then I add a buy. That way it means that whether this the asset spikes, as long as I have entered an opposite direction, there will be no profit or loss. It's only that they will be changing position. The sell will be in profit, the buy will be in a loss. Then always close the asset which is in profit, so that that balance goes to the main balance. So for example, here the only positions which I can close are the sell, but since I already have the balance which is more, which is $182, hence, so I've explained how you enter a BBE. Always enter with a spike position when you want to enter a BBE. Don't enter with a normal position. Then when you want to close any position, there are also some rules. If the position here, like it says a spike, right? It's a spike, so it's only the spikes which are in profit. So when you want to close a spike position, you have to replace it with a spike position before you close the main position. So for example, if I wanted to close how many 6, if I wanted to close this 0.48, I have to enter, let me see, you enter a spike position. Good. That's when I'll close the normal position. So whenever you want to close a spike position, always replace it first before you can add another position. Then if you want to enter a normal position, you have to close first. You close, then you replace it, so that in case it spikes, it will be a plus to you. So if you do it the other way, I can assure you that it's very risky and your account can just blow, just there, right there and then just blows. So these are the rules. So once you have the balance there, for example, I have $9 there, which is, in fact, equity is 9.9, then balance is 182. If I want, let me see the level. Okay, which level did this spike? Oh, this asset has already grabbed the liquidity. The only asset which I can trade here, yeah, it's the same 500, the crash 500. So let me see. But it will take time. My next trade will be on 500, crash 500. Let me just add the position 9 4. Let me see for if it blows, it will blow. It's because the crash, the boom 500 has already grabbed the liquidity. So for example, if my equity grows to 15, I can just withdraw my 5 to my safe. You just withdraw to your saver. So great. So whenever I want to shift the stop loss, I just go to my main account, my MT5 saver. I just withdraw the 5, I remain with the 10, then it continues. So that's the powerful stop loss you can ever use. And if the spike comes, it can only claim what is in the account. So mostly when I enter a trade, if I deposited 20, that's my least key. So the stop loss will be equivalent to a 20, and unless if I say my stop loss should be half, then I'll also help it with the normal price line as a stop loss. So that's how Mpsl works, as maybe Black's permanent stop loss, whereby you withdraw the learning trade, withdraw the equity using the balance, which has been helped by BBE, which is balance building entries, so that you lock in profit. So if the spike comes here, it means that I can only lose $10. As it is, I can only lose $10 since it has already deducted the other 10 since it was at 10. So that's how Mpsl works. Have a wonderful and lovely day. Feel free to contact me either through the Dreamer's Den, me Black, the Dreamer's Den, or just contact me direct. If you request my number, I can still provide, and I'm always ready, available 24, in fact 22/7. I'm only active for 22/7. All right, thank you. Have a great evening, good night, good morning.